Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chongqing Major CIS Qualifiers. We are here for some visceral action between TSpirit and NoPangolier. I'm KillerPigeon, and joining me, well, we've blown some dust off him. We've got him off a panel. We've stuck him on the mic for a cast. The one, it's the only NahazDota. He's here.
Well, you better have some lung power, man. I'm pretty dusty.
I'm
ready to go, though. This is going to be fun. We're going to get to cast a Rubik. This hero is absolutely disgusting. Arcane Supremacy is beyond broken. Oh, and of course they go PA.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you go PA? Because you have smoke on demand.
But Nahaz, man, you're missing. You look at the top. You're missing the combo here. The Spirit Breaker Darkseer combo. Have you not seen this? This is insane.
No, I have not. Tell me about it, because I have not cast this combo in this patch yet. I haven't seen this combo in this patch yet.
It's insane. So you get the surge, right? And because your charge and your bash is based on your movement speed, you surge them. And on top of that, there's an ability called Bulldoze built into Spirit Breaker that gives him stats resistance and movement speed for 8 seconds. So you surge, you bulldoze, you're moving at like 1800 movement speed or something, and you just plow into a target and take half the race.
That was the rework. Okay. Huh? So by the way, I am on record. I had said this from the get-go when it was initially introduced and added to strength heroes. I think status resistance it's the worst global concept to be built into the game since the AoE comeback bounties as they originally were in 682. And I don't remember, I don't know if people remember this, that like you instantly, with 681, obviously it was the Deathball meta that was TI4. People were so angry after the TI4 Grand Finals. So they came back in this patch in 682 and it was just a mess. Games were immediately, all of them were over an hour. And there was a patch like 24 hours later. Status resistance, I think, is on par with that as in terms of a bad idea. Like 60% status resistance, all of a sudden you're an invoker, you tornado somebody, and you tornado 5 heroes, and 2 of them come down in like a second before everybody else. It just, you know, Dota is a sufficiently high skill cap game. You don't need to add more barriers to entry.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like the layers of complexity got ridiculous. I think we saw there was a Spirit Breaker yesterday. It was solo playing it, and he was against the Beastmaster. He would literally just activate Bulldoze and run into him to force him to use the Primal Raw on him. And it was just pathetic. It was like, because it's a 50% status resistance. It was like, okay, he's stunned for like a 1.5 seconds maximum, and off he goes. And it's just, it's baffling. I think there's a lot of things baffling at the moment, because I think one of the big focuses on the current patch isn't just more stats resistance. It's the way Agi heroes just keep getting amplified patch after patch after patch, right?
Yeah. And part of it is just it's hard to separate, right? Because there are a number of things that I think they wanted to do with this patch that are good ideas, and that's one of the big ones is just a relative buff to carries in general. Because over the last year or so of Dota, you've seen a lot of power creep and a lot. Oh my, okay. I've shelved that point for a minute. So Lich is ridiculous as well on the list of broken heroes. And I actually think he's ridiculous in a good way. I think that this hero, Lich is one of the first heroes that I played when I was first learning to play Dota, like 4 years ago. Yes, it's been that recent. More like 6 at this point, but whatever. I think that this hero design was just boring, quite honestly.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And they got rid of that, right? I mean, I think that the new Frost Armor it's an exciting ability. It allows the hero to trade a lot better in lane. You still have a very mana expensive nuke, and without sacrifice, you're not going to be able to use Frost Blast that often. But it's offset by the fact that your new Frost Armor is actually really cool, and it trades really well throughout the game. And you're going to see people skilling that up really early. And he now has a third skill, the Gaze, that's basically a Shackles. Right, it disables it. It essentially disables you in essence, acting like a poor man's hex. Right, so it's cool. I like the hero rework. It's a little bit too good right now, frankly. I think the hero is, one of the problems with Lich is that he used to be this awesome laner that sort of, oh, what in the world? Stop this phone.
It's a third person for the cast, man.
This is my phone. This is my home office. So I have a phone down here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Anyway, he used to be this very strong laner that kind of, as the game went on, had less and less utility and just was not fun to play. now I think he's a great laner that has an incredible amount of utility as the game goes on, and you're going to see him in basically every game.
No, it's true. Like the effect of the new Frost Arm that I've seen in the game so far is brutal. And you're right about his new gaze ability. It's not only entertaining to watch, it's also pretty potent. Like people assume this is going to be a memeful thing, but it's like you said, it's the shackles. It's also repositioning. You're dragging someone further and further out of their comfort zone.
And that's a really underrated aspect of Dota that kicks into effect at high levels. As you go up in terms of skill levels in Dota, positioning becomes more and more important and becomes more and more exacting. And you get these abilities that allow for repositioning even by a tiny amount. And that becomes super, super significant because that tiny amount makes the difference between you being in range or out of range of some of these spells. I mean, it used to be that if you watch replays and player perspective of like the top players, you watch replays of Arteezy and you just pause the game during team fights and mouse over and look at the ranges on the different spells. And you realize how precisely you have to position yourself at high levels of Dota to be out of range of some of these abilities so that you don't just get chain stunned and die. Even minor repositioning like that is extremely significant.
Yeah, it's not just skills as well, of course. Especially in the laning phase, being slightly out of position means you can't trade effectively. You get creep aggro, you screw up your equilibrium, or you take harassment. That's where this hero is ridiculous. But
it's that extra right click and GG. Like that's an awesome Huskar pick. I think it's the Dragon Knight is less bothered by Huskar than a lot of potential mid matchups would be. But if you look at Dragon Knight, like what he does in lane, right? Dragon Knight's whole shtick is I'm just going to farm. I'm not going to stop you from farming necessarily, but I'm going to farm myself. Huskar's like, fine, because if you let me farm, if you leave me alone in lane, I'm just going to win the game at 30 minutes. And Dragon Knight's great. The other thing about Dragon Knight is that he's going to punish you for leaving lane, right? If you're away from lane at all, I'm going to take your tower. And one of the big things that I've been talking about in my analysis of some of these games is damage on towers early on is very significant, even if it's not a tower kill, because by damaging the opposing tower, you make the other team's rotations more predictable. They feel like they have to come in and protect that tower, right? Huskar, I mean, he's fine with that. He wants you to come in and try and pressure that tower and set up those ganks and set up that action.
Yeah.
And this sniper, I think, is just going to get jumped on and die.
That's the thing. They've basically picked a sniper as their alternative to go up against this Huskar. And I think either in a little bit trouble. Like, I think the Dragon Knight scenario where it gets worse than previous Huskar is now that he has this disarm built in. It's that type of hero that can interfere with your CSing early on, right? Like a Tinker would, for example. And it does make a huge difference because when you're in that one-on-one scenario, just one or two creep leads starts to just roll out of control because it's very hard to gank the mid at the moment and reset that lane.
Right. I mean, just think about the way that OD uses Astral, like you said, Tinker using Laser, anything that causes you, particularly with the range creep still being worth such a large percentage of gold and XP during a wave, right? It causing the opposing mid to miss one CS is much more significant than it was, a year or two ago. And that was Valve's whole goal in that change. It was to make the laning phase more technical. Yeah, this is the thing though. When you look at NoPangolier as a team, right? I mean, they are extremely solid 3 through 5, especially with their two supports, right? Zayat's his in-game decision making is wonderful. It's as good as any young player out there right now, I think. You have Sioma, who was for years one of the more stable and dependable supports in the CIS scene. Ghostic, when he's playing well, is extremely solid. Sailor is, I mean, he's kind of all over the place.
He's a wild card.
Yeah, he is. And you have him on a hero that's a wild card. So it really is going to be about his decision making, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch regardless, because it looks like we are going to get a PA versus a sniper matchup. And Naive is what you were talking about the rest of them. Naive is actually quite a competent player as well. He has been eyed up by a lot of teams. Not the most shot. The most shot person on this team is definitely Ghostic. Like, Ghostic is... At one point, a lot of people were saying this is the best offlaner in like the CIS region. Obviously, that's big wording when you've got VP in the pool, but like a lot of teams were shopping for this guy.
Yeah, it's been interesting, right? Because there have been a couple of the young CIS offlaners that have been getting looks a lot from other teams. You know, Nangrado was somebody that a lot of people were looking at as well. It's just, again, it's about consistency in that role in any region, and not just CIS. And you know, Ghostic and Nangrado both have these streaks of weeks where they look awesome, and then they have some games where you don't quite know what they're thinking.
No, that's fair. And like, you can sometimes, some teams like that, right? They'll have like one person that way and the rest are solid. You just have that one potential ace. But
this top lane is going to be ridiculous, though.
It is.
You have a Darkseer Spirit Breaker against Oracle Huskar. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It should be entertaining to watch. I mean, especially the combo of Oracle plus Huskar with the way that his new passive works.
Well, and we haven't yet talked, which is a little bit of a crime. We haven't yet talked the idea that the Oracle purge against Darkseer, right? Darkseer is not necessarily going to be able to use this, just spam this Ion Shell in lane, because Oracle can just take it right off.
Mm-hmm. I remember when they made that change.
Classic
and,
counter pick.
Like, well, Darkseer was being picked a lot back then. Yeah. And it was just like constantly, you just see an Oracle get picked against these common Darkseers back then, and immediately people realized Darkseer was no longer a viable hero. It's like he was just dead in the water.
Yep.
Like that.
I mean, there really is only, it's a kind of a genius pick, right? It's third, especially setting up for the Huskar fifth. And it's a little bit surprising that they didn't do a little bit more going toward countering the Huskar.
I mean, it was late, right? It was hard for them to anticipate that. It's kind of one of those picks that you don't see every time. You're in a new patch, and then it comes out, and you went, that situation didn't change. That hero is still going to screw us pretty hard here.
Yeah, nice lane control here by 9 on the sniper in the first couple of first wave here. He has a nice, comfortable lead already, which, you know, again, a couple CS lead in this first wave. This is like much more significant than it used to be in Dota a year ago.
Especially in a range.
He should be able to, yeah, he should be able, okay, he does give up that range creep, and that gets the PA right back into the lane.
But it's going to be interesting to observe, because as you, of course, level up, you get more points in the headshot. PA's not exactly a tanky hero. She's going to probably end up ferrying out a lot of regen.
She will, but the blur mitigates that somewhat. And again, it just scales very, very well. You know, a little bit of action here on the top lane as the Oracle is getting low. I don't think FNG is going to commit to that just yet.
Nah, he got the bash at the wrong moment. Oh, he's going, though. He wants this a little bit bold. He actually needs to be careful, taking a lot of damage. Yep, decides to TP out straight away, realizing he can't hang around. But I actually
really like that as a move, right? Because you put a lot of pressure on the opposing lane. You know, your Darkseer now is going to get a couple of a little bit of solo XP here. He's a guy that can cut the wave like an axe.
Okay,
oh, no.
Rotation from Zayat off the back of him. He's going to get the core as well. He's running in. The charge is too late. He'll die for that. Beautifully done by the Rubik as he picks up that haste and ensures a kill on the sniper.
We were talking about Zayat. This is what I love about him players. He just has a great feel for leverage. And they're going to go on this PA. Oh my goodness.
That's bold. I don't see that working out. The good news is, of course, Rubik's already TP'd out, so there's no assistance coming mid.
It's completely worthwhile, though. I mean, this is going to force this PA back off the wave. You know, a little bit of pressure on the tower.
And she's just trying. He doesn't have to leave.
Content to trade.
He's so damn tanky. He can just stand his ground against this. And, well, they need to, because, of course, you've got 2 Wraith Bands now on the PA. That damage will start to stack hard. And this is kind of the name of the game right now in this patch is, do you like Wraith Bands? Yes. Yes, I love them a lot. Usually 3. I've seen some heroes with 4 Wraith Bands.
Well, and people are talking a lot about the direct buff, but as they're going to go on the PA yet again here.
No bashes.
I don't think they're going to, they're not going to get the kill, but again, there's the sort of passive pressure, and this is something, lane transitions are so important right now that you get one lane, you either get one lane to the point where it's sort of subsistence, right? This Darkseer can kind of take care of himself up here, and then you go ahead and you help another. Yeah, and this sniper has a nice lead at this point. He's not going to give this up. I love the attempt by Zayat. You know, he has a great feel for sort of where on the map he can be to best make plays at any given time. And so that you know, if you look at that, if that mid lane play doesn't happen, right, This game is... Spirit is just looking so good. But you look up and all of a sudden it's Pango that has the 1k lead.
That's true. Like, the top lane is going well for Pango because while Darks is putting out the shells, he can't exist in the lane, which means he's missing out a lot of XP. The Slayer's missing out a lot of HP here. Actually being chased down with the Iron Shell there. One more tap of it. Yeah. Nice use of the disarm by Sealer.
And it was set up by a very nice scan that hit.
While that's happening, though, mid lane, Zayat gets caught out as Biva did rotate. Showing off the power.
Zayat's kill, they scanned him on that hill. They scanned him on that hill overlooking mid lane. They sort of had the feeling the spider sense was tingling.
I've actually noticed something here in the mid lane, by the way. Naive, I think that's his second, maybe third Mango he's just been ferrying out. No Aquila anymore, right? So if you just want to be able to spam these daggers, you're going to have to keep buying Mangoes. That's
value, man.
Working out for him. You know, you can take an item out of the game, all right? But they'll find a new strategy. Oh, here we go. This is what we're talking about with FNG. You see the Surge charging in right now? But nice Purge coming through. He hits the bash first.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? FNG's pretty tank. No, they can't do this. Naive needs to run. Nice blink away. The Shrapnel was on point, but he hasn't got level 6, so Naive will survive.
No.
But yeah, you could already...
No, but that is something that he needs to be aware of, because... about a minute more in game time, and that's a kill.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And your blur doesn't do anything against it.
You just saw the potential threat of what's coming from the Spirit Breaker. Like this scales really well, by the way, because like we're saying, the Bulldoze, you get up to 30% extra movement speed. On top of that, you got the Surge. You just stack like a Windlace, Boots, and build maybe into even more movement speed. And you can legit just take out these squishy carries in almost one hit.
Yeah. Oh, all right, a little aggression showed down bottom.
Naive's in trouble in the mid lane, though. He can't escape. He's gone.
No.
The bot lane, however, Skidder, they do see him. They're trying to go on him, but this is a tanky Dragon Knight.
Yeah, that's exactly the wrong play in the map to run a play. You're under so much pressure right now as NoPangolier. Even it sounds ridiculous to say that so early on, and even you have a net worth lead, but I think NoPangolier are actually feeling a little bit of pressure here to make things happen.
It's a race. It's definitely a race when you've got a Huskar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't see the PA doing anything for you anytime soon. I think there's a decent amount of control. You're going to need a BKB before you can really even think about fighting into this team. And that's scary. That's a big pickup you have to wait for.
It is scary, although, you know, we say that. You got to keep in mind. Okay, there you go. Little action mid.
They were waiting. They actually want to go on a PA. Instead, they'll take a kill onto the Oracle. Wait, they're going to find more. And Biva going for TP out. It's going to be close. Oh, he just gets it mid-swing. Live life on the edge. It's the only way to do so.
You know, ordinarily we think about Sniper as a right-click machine, but the power of that long-range magic damage finisher against the PA, that assassinate really bothers her, because PA is a hero that is going to play. She's going to be living life on the edge in a lot of these fights.
And it's kind of showing. They've actually brought 4 heroes to the mid lane looking for an opportunity onto 9. But they know something's up. There's no one showing the lanes. Instead, they'll stun up on FNG. But he'll just say bye. Oh, nice telekinesis lift from Zayat, though. And this Sandstorm, this new Sandstorm rework, there's so much damage. In the mid lane, though, they're going. Trying to go on the Sniper. Now he's going to turn around. Naive, taking a lot of damage here. Cancel the Assassinate. He'll reuse it. And it looks like Sniper's going to get himself a kill.
Nice.
While that's happening, FNG does fall to the combo of Ghostic and Zayat.
All right, and this is something I really like what Spirit's doing here, that they're looking at this Huskar and they're going that Huskar's free farming. Oh my God, we have to stop the Huskar. No, you don't, okay? One of the best things that you can do against Huskar is make sure, if Huskar doesn't have this secondary core, this secondary damage source, Huskar is killable, especially with what you've got on this team in team fights. As long as the PA is held down, the Huskar is probably not going to beat you by himself.
It's true. Zayat's a little bit of trouble here, maybe. He's under the tower. They could go on this. Huskar's TPing in. They may have actually awoken the beast. Jump straight across on the Skidder. With TP out instant, they've already used their stunts. But I think you're right. Like, the way to look at it in this type of game is essentially you have to think Huskar a little bit like you think of a Timbersaw, right? Because it's just, if you go and just invoke the beast, he's going to kick the crap out of you. If you just ignore him, come back in 20 minutes, you've got the items to deal with him. Who cares about him?
Well, I mean... And the thing is, when you talk about waking the beast, you kind of woke the beast there, but before he had his morning coffee. Because that Huskar, you made him rotate before he finished armor, which is a very, very big deal. right? He now has to be he now has to CS a bit down in this bottom lane. Might put some pressure on the tower here. That would be very helpful in terms of getting him toward that item. But I think just making him leave his lane before he gets armlet, and you get the kill on the mid tower.
Slayer. That's a little bit too close for comfort.
Exactly according to plan for Spirit in this early game.
Most definitely is. They're going to look for more here. Charging on Naive. Can they actually get him, though? Yeah, he used the blow already, actually, when he got hit with the charge. Luckily, no bashes coming out. I think one would have actually sealed the deal there.
Well, I actually think that's a tremendously effective move, even if it doesn't get the kill. When a lot of this is just forcing the enemy team out of the areas of the map that they want to be. You force that Husker to rotate bottom. You force that PA away from her secondary jungle, and you get the kill. This is... It's insane. Spirit is looking very good here.
It's this, well, to live up to the name, it's all about this Spirit Breaker, right? Because it's not just the Iron Shell Surge combo. We're seeing the use of the Lich in this combo, and it's insane. You can't run away from it.
No, and it's just FNG identifying where he needs to be on the map to best disrupt what NoPangolier is trying to build toward.
True. And it just feels like with all that damage coming out, we see it time and time again with the Assassinates. This is the true coup de grace in this game. It's just that beautiful little finisher, and Sniper is already building a very healthy lead over the PA. Actually, almost double the net worth.
Honestly, if not for that early courier play and first blood by Zayats, this game would be... we'd be talking about danger time already at less than 11 minutes in this game.
Most definitely. As a result, you just see Naive struggling. I mean, he's going to go top, just try and farm up. Someone has to be in this lane with Dragon Knight because they know what comes straight away. The problem is it's a PA. You're not going to stop him from making this push.
Textbook DK play.
If there's a tower and your ult's off cooldown, why are you not hitting the tower? Rule number one.
Yeah.
And all the while, the supports are just trying to sap as much XP as possible. 6 is a decent power spike for both of these. Rubik, of course, some good steals this game, and never underestimate the damage you can do with a Chain Frost, especially with the new Sinister Gaze, enabling you to get multiple bounces pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's that repositioning tool we were talking about. And that's something, you look at... I think if you asked any top-level player, what if you gave Lich a hard disable? And they'd be like, first pick.
They throw the keyboard. They're just like, I'm done with the game.
Right.
And it's frustrating. There's so many things you want to ban at the moment, right? You still got ban Eye. That's still ridiculous. Dazzle is becoming quite bedazzling to the high-level players. As we're talking about a game we look back at that had 41,000 heals at, what was it, 29 minutes as an example. But on top of that, the Poison Touch aggression. And Lich. Lich is the hidden one that a lot of top players didn't realize, but these teams straight away on bam. This hero is now insane.
And look at that. So that bottom tower kill right there, okay? That's something that a lot of people watching significant. But look at the difference between that and what Spirit just did in the sort of other side of the map, the tier 1 top tower, right? A lot of where you are in the game is measured by when the enemy team shows aggression, are you forced to respond?
Oh, FNG? FNG escapes! He gets out. There was a response coming up. They tried to dive onto the Rubik. Falls. Yeah, the DK goes down. FNG got away with 20 HP after getting outplayed by Zayats there.
And it is a nice response. And, I mean, NoPango have to feel good about that. Their Husker is able to get that tower kill in the bottom lane, TP up, and get a kill on the opposing core.
And now there'll be a smoke.
Yeah, I like this play.
Yeah, PA, people will think this hero has to farm for 30 minutes and then be this big one-hit crit. But it's like, at this stage, your crits do a lot of damage. He just gave it away, though, in the mid. Yeah,
but no, if you're playing PA right now and you're farming for 20 minutes, please play another hero. Like, this hero is... This is what the triple Wraithband build is.
Oh, Sniper? They caught him out here. The F% is on point. So the smoke rotation connects with actually the best kill in the game for him right now. And he should have known about that.
By far. By far. That you actually can't give that kill up. That's a really bad play.
Mistakes being made. Meanwhile, Sealer just keeps sitting top. He's gonna look to slowly shove this in, but this is always a frustration. A Huskar, he's gonna be your guy to take towers this game. But there's, Dragon Knight always shoving one of your other lanes and pushing the towers, and then there's a Darkster in the other lane, making sure you never reach his tower.
Man. And this is also... imagine if PA hadn't gotten totally dumped on in lane and she had her Deso right now, right? I mean, NoPango's rocking.
Oh, yeah. NoPango maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Slayer being slowed down. They actually get a jump on a Skidder. Stun comes out, trying to move away. There's the Frost Nova bouncing through. Sealer taking a lot of damage. Disarm does come out. FNG chasing forward. One bash will do it. The Frost Nova stolen. Bounce back towards the back. Giving a lot of damage up at Skidder. Still standing his ground. Ghosty's going to go down. They lose 4. And all they get is a Lich. FNG will go down as well. Now he finally arrives. A little bit too late to the party. And he's in trouble. He needs to back away now. And
that Chain Frost. That Chain Frost could easily have spent its entire time in the Ancient Camp. I think that when it bounced, I think it was like 1 out of 3 to actually bounce back into the NoPango heroes. But that happened, and there was no chance.
The reactions from Hestager as well. He immediately identified that and just says, all right, vacuum in, boys. It's party time. It's not going back to those Ancients. It's going to you.
Oh, man.
Wow. And that was the difference there, because that was a decent steal from Zayat, so it was a decent amount of bounces. If that Frost never comes back, they probably win that fight, because theirs would have bounced a lot longer.
And if they win that fight, it is so important, right? In terms of a momentum swing, if they win that fight, all of a sudden you got a PA with Deso, you got a Husker that has his armlet and is going toward his BKB. And this is something that we're going to be talking about a lot in this patch, that the BKB power spikes are huge.
They are.
36 spells that basically had their piercing spell immunity taken away. That BKB power spike, you can't mitigate it anymore with something like a Shiva's, for example. Can't mitigate it with AC. It's huge.
It's kind of weird that they buff BKB more, considering BKB is arguably the most picked up item when it comes to core items.
Yeah. Oh, it is the most important tier 1 core item in the game. It has been for a long time. That is one of a couple of changes in this patch that I just really don't understand. How you could have looked at the state of the high-level prob and pro meta and said BKB needs a buff, it's beyond me.
I don't know.
I mean, part of it is they wanted to bring back tempo carries, right?
That's true.
But I think that there's enough other stuff in this patch that would have done that.
I mean, maybe Nahaz, like, all of the Valve employees are like average 4K MMR, and they never see BKBs. And they've gone, why are my carries not building BKBs? The item needs to be better, clearly.
Confirmed that KillerPigeon does not want to get invited to TI. Just kidding.
Oof. I mean, it's in China, man. Visas are hard anyway.
This is true. This is true. We're gonna get banned anyway, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Let's not get into that.
But
okay,
no,
Scan does hit. Zayat is
out, and they actually rotate a lot of heroes to try and find him there. But it's kind of interesting, I think. The other thing, to, go back to that BKB point, because there is another fair point here, is Hooded Defiance has been picked up so much. And if you then went BKB, it felt very underwhelming because it felt too defensive. But because they've buffed it more indirectly, you can make an argument for BKB even better after getting Hooded Defiance and not feel like you're not doing anything with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's very weird.
Look at Zayat's Rubik pushing mid by himself. I love this. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you have to do.
It's true. Like, right now, you basically allow your team to go more safely for that tier 2 bot because they don't want to lose the tier 1 mid. That's more important. So they'll go for Zayats instead of going for your cores. And speaking of that...
oh, no. Well,
see you later, buddy.
I mean...
Tanks the gang while having the gaze. Wait, actually, no. They go behind. They look to kill Slayer first. The Chain Frost did come out to ensure the kill onto Lich as well. Onto the Rubik, rather, as well.
I would actually have had no problem with feeding 1 kill there, but feeding 2 is really bad. And this is something, again, anytime you see as the Dire side, you cannot give up your top triangle of towers, your mid and your 2 safe lane towers without taking at least 1 of the Radiant tier 1 top or mid. If you do that, Roshan is free at this point. There's no way that you're going to be able to contest Roshan until you can establish control over at least one of those 2 lanes.
Oh, charge coming through. FNG trying to escape. Won't be able to. They're actually going to move in if they're quick enough here. There's a buyback coming out from the Spirit Breaker. Disarms there from Sealer. Moving in. Epicenter stuns through on the free. Can he pick up the X5? No, he can't. Skidder still gets it, but they're getting low. Darkseid looks like he'll be the first one to fall. Naive saved by the ultimate coming out from Orchid. Gonna jump forward, looking for more. A lot of damage done on FNG. He just fought back, but he's going to go down again. Skidder finally running the fight again, but Will Shadow Blade up, looking to move away. Is forced to fight against Sealer, who is getting low, but not quite out of the mark yet. He'll use the disarm. He'll get him once. They're looking to set up and wipe the entirety. Sniper has to run for the high hills, and Skidder's left alone to fight against this. He has no way of fighting back. Assassinate's going to be on Sealer. Nice lift from Zayat to interrupt it, though. They can move forward. They can wipe the entirety of TSpirit. They'll move in. Forced off to the low ground. There's the Burrow strike through, and that is going to be a clean sweep. Aegis and all. as NoPangolier just come out of nowhere last second.
Oh, just beautiful there by NoPango. Anticipating the movement by Spirit was a little bit easy to read. Respawn times are still relatively short, and look at that PA's inventory, man. We talked about that power spike that was going to happen when the Deso hit. Well, just in time, it arrives for the biggest fight of the game, and Pango is right back in it.
It's insane. Like, that is actually the effect of the new Unifier, most of all. Like, that disarm, if that doesn't happen, there's no way Sand King gets in that pit in time. That's just done. And I think there's been some meaningful plays with Inner Fire around, like, Roche pits that have been seen on YouTube. Like, there's been Ursa, for example, Roshing. You finish the Roche, you'll see a Huskar blink in and push him out of the pit. But it is a reposition. Like, it forces people out of position. That's what this spell does, more than just disarm.
Oh, I know. It becomes a mini blinding light, right? I mean, that's a neat ability. I will be the first to say I underestimated that.
Definitely a scary one, and it's not too expensive early on. So even in lane, it can be effective. But as we saw in big team fights, my God, the difference it makes. No risky on the line, almost dead armlet toggles. This might kill me. Just disarm everyone and then armlet toggle.
Yeah, I just, even looking at that fight, I did not think that NoPango was going to quite be able to be there in time, and it was really on the edge. Man.
Ghostic, though, came through perfectly. That three-man Burrow strike. Sadly, couldn't get the Aegis. He was so close, but he'd been slowed already as the shrapnel was down.
Yeah, I can't help thinking that Spirit should have established a little bit when they first rotated up off the double support kill in the mid lane. I can't help thinking that they should have established a little bit more control on the dire side of the map. You can kind of see they don't have really the best of vision over there, and they were in that area of the map. They had plenty of opportunity to establish control.
I think the interesting
that's a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, there's a more interesting thing to highlight here, though, right? Is that if you compare what happened there for TeamSpirit to what we see a lot of these tier 1 teams do, is no matter how low the Roche is, unless it's one tap from being done, if you're interrupted, if you can see opponents near the pit, there's discipline, right? There's an immediate going, let's get out of the pit, let's fight them, let's make sure there's no risk here.
Well, okay, but it's funny that you say that, all right? A lot of people look at these tier 1 teams and they say, oh, they just have insane team reaction time, and that's true, but it's also the fact that they have vision, right? They have information up on the right parts of the map to inform those decisions, and that makes you look faster. I mean, look at the dire side of the map above the Roche pit, right? I mean, Spirit has no vision there. They had no idea the angle from which NoPangolier was coming in that fight.
It's true. Instead, the vision was all in favor of NoPangolier.
Yeah, and you have no vision granting hero, right? I mean, other than Spiritbreaker when he's charging over, you don't really have that, that Beastmaster Hawk or that other device that you're going to use to grant vision of key areas in the map. You have to have anticipatory warding.
Definitely fair to say that people have started to wake up again, not just like on the pro player level, but the typical like watcher, right? Since TI and people talking about how decisive warding was, especially X-Nova. And it just made
X-Nova's warding was like MVP of the tournament. I mean, that guy was just, obviously you don't give one player, right, credit for that. That's a coaching staff, that's a captain and 5 position talking about that for a lot of time. And here you get big shrine fight here. This may be a little bit overextension.
Well, BKB wants to seal it. Epicenter interrupted by the charge from FNG, trying to get rid of Oracle quick enough, but they can't. He's going to stay alive. The turnaround. Darcy it down. Skinner to hit the ground as well. And they chase the ball looking for more. They're actually going to find one on the back foot. They do get the kill on the Lich, so clean up FNG on the way through. And just in time for a tier 2 push. I can't believe that worked out so perfect. The charge through from FNG looked decisive in favor of TeamSpirit there.
Yes, but your Husker, it's just all about hitting critical mass. Again, look at the item timings, right? The PA Deso comes online just in time for the Roche fight. That was the BKB reveal from the Husker. You're strong as NoPangolier, and it looked like an overextension, but they know that they've got that power spike there. We're strong, guys. Let's take this fight.
And it's that case that right now you're looking at this gold lead. It's a 6k net worth lead, but you should not be deceived. This is a much higher one when you consider where the money is, right? You've got this BKB and Armlet on the Huskar now. For like the next 5-10 minutes, TeamSpirit have to play defensive and buy time.
Yeah, which, given the situation that we were in 5 minutes ago in this game, it sounds ridiculous.
It does.
You know, the idea that Spirit is so far on the back foot in such a small period of time, and they're going to be able to aggressively hunt the sniper.
They are. He's hiding in the trees. He knows. He sees him. The dagger through. They'll blink on him. They'll clean him up. The charge through in time, but 9. He's trying to run away. Can't. The BKB up from Knife. It is forced, but FNG.
Oh.
That is a big slab of beef being carved up by this PA. Meanwhile,
you just have no way to deal with this BKB power spikes. It's...
Ghost 6 going. He's got the Bar Strike Piper. See you later, buddy. There's no way in hell Darkseer hangs around to help you. 3 kills for the PA. And Hug.
Yeah, your towers are gone at this point, and the question is, the hope is that NoPangolier right now, they don't have great high ground assault, right? So as Spirit, you're not necessarily worried about them taking the base unless you lose a big fight outside.
That's true.
But yeah, it really does become about mistake minimization at this point for Spirit.
I mean, the good news is because you're not that high of a level, the respawn times aren't that long still as well. But when these mistakes get made in another 5 minutes, they could easily be damaged.
Oh, boy.
I'm actually surprised that NoPangolier decided to not go for the tier 2, in fact, just to pile on the pressure that if you lose this final outer tower, your whole base is screwed.
It is fine. That is the least or second least significant tower, arguably.
I know, it's just like when you always want to keep at least 1 tier 2 alive, because it's basically the difference between having even 1 tier 2 and none is 1 big fight costs you the game versus you might have a chance to come back, right? Like it's...
And look at, once again, look at the vision, look at the warding, right? You can almost draw a line. It's like those, it's like those sentry wards, right, on the dire side are like Zerg creep, right? They're just pushing over onto the Radiant side of the map, and that's actually so significant. I almost like the decision there by NoPangolier to just keep the steady pressure up. Go contest the Radiant jungle, right?
Oh.
Don't allow Spirit any time to breathe.
Well, they see things they want to kill. FNG making his escape for a little bit, though, gets rooted up, and the bash as well to ensure he can't do anything but die. And that's going to be a tier 2 mid. And it's right, you just got this slow creep, as you said, of Sentry Walls coming out. And actually, in this type of game, you do have to consider the only team that has to support that's going to get a GPM talent is NoPangolier. So Vision is going to become easier for them to spam out. And they're winning already. Ghost Stick. Oh, gazed in. He's going to go down.
Nice.
Bit off more than he can shoot. Now moving forward. Skiller stuns up on the Rubik. Zayas will fall as well. Double kill for 9 already. Can they find more? It's going to be a tough... Oh, Slayer. Surge forward. They see everything with their wards, and they're going to chase through. Dragon Tail's there. The right clicks are enough to bring him down. They will at least know that Team Spirit have a ward here now, though.
Yeah, and you don't get the high value targets either. The Husker and the PA both get out. Yeah, it's a little disconcerting to lose 3 there, but you are sort of extending. Roche's not quite up yet.
And it's just going to show, like that recap the last fight, 3,500 damage done by Sniper. He's starting to get scary with that MKB pickup.
Yeah, starting, but he still has to worry about just getting dived straight on top of. And look at this is the other thing that we didn't talk about earlier, that the huge buff to these Wraithband, Bracer, Null Tally type items is that because you have that extra slot now for a TP scroll, you don't have to sell these items like you used to. Nearly at the same time. I mean, this is the point in the game where, snipers already had to sell 1, maybe 2 of these Wraithbands. True. In the past.
And I think like the other thing to highlight is, especially with Agi heroes, because they're gaining movement speed gradually as they level up, and with these Wraith Bands, I've actually seen games where boots have been skipped by Agi carries just for more Wraith Bands, that early aggression. And it sounds insane, but you get so much. Look at his movement speed 348. Like without boots, yeah, he's going to be affected a little bit, but because it's percentage based and not a raw number anymore, it's less gains. Oh, moving in. Roche is cleaned up. They're trying to get in time nicely from Zayas. Now they're going to turn around. Going for BKB comes out, and it looks like Skiller's in a lot of trouble. Activates his BKB to try and move away. They do see him. Can they do enough damage? No, he gets out of vision. They'll turn around. They'll take a kill on the Hester Joe instead. They force the Shrine usage, and it looks like it's going to be continued running away from the side of Team Spirit.
Oh, yeah. Hester Joe knew exactly what he was doing there. He sacrificing his life for Skitters, and that's a good trade for him. But again, you look at the Darkseer progression. Mech Pipe is fine, but it's not doing anything to mitigate the damage output that's coming mostly from PA and Husker right now.
Yeah, it's just ensuring 1, maybe 2 more hits. But what you do in that time with their BKB, you have no way of really combating them. The sniper needs another good 10 minutes before he hits hard enough to be scary. That's the threat. Like this is Huskar's window.
You know, you've got the Shadow Blade BKB from the Dragon Knight, but he doesn't have enough damage by himself, right? Sniper at this point,
I mean,
yeah, he's got that big damage item, but
speaking of that Dragon Knight, he's Glimmer caped up. They're gonna lift him back. The Dust Reveal along with the Sentry, just everything thrown on. Bar Strike does connect on the Sniper. The Dust Reveal on the Ghosting. There's the Chain Frost come through the Gaze, dragging him in even deeper. The Protection's down to Sealer. They will wipe through Dragon Knight so quickly. They jump in. The Bat's gonna be that Sniper. He doesn't have the Hurricane Bike. He already used it 9. He has no escape plan. Well, there's a quicker one for you. Buyback. That's the only way he's going to get back in this. Hestic Joe. No! The crit! He can't surge away. The lift's going to be on FNG. He connects to the Sealer, but it's not enough. And now they can turn around, fix one. But Sealer getting too low. He's going to go pop. The buyback from 9 might have saved them here, but they still need to be careful about the PA.
Man, oh man.
This is tense. One small misstep and 9 is gone. That's the power of PA.
But again, you see that, you talk about the dive right there by NoPangolier. They actually kind of have to do that because they don't have the best sieging.
I know, and they're going to do it again. Kills. 9's gone.
Oh, well, that's
a dive back. And look, the Gaze dragging him in because Piper's like, please don't kill me. It doesn't matter, though. He's down. They're all dead. But as you said, luckily, NoPangolier do not push quickly.
No, although they don't, but this is still going to be racks.
In fairness, what I will give them credit for is Naive does push relatively quickly with the Phantom Strike, right? Because you can switch targets.
That's true.
Uh-oh. Dragon Knight. Skidder, do they want to go on him? There's the triple dagger coming through. Bar Strike's going to be there. Ghosting needs to move away. He has got the epicenter, but he doesn't want to use it. Vacuum, hit on the 2. Stun there on the Sand King. The Gaze. CIS is dragging in Dragon Knight. Naive just stabs in and finds Hester Joe. Skidder, no escape though. Bar Strike's going to come out. Now they move in. Where's the big crits? The stun's going to be coming through, and he is gone. And that's going to be 2 lanes now. Your Gluttony, your punishment for trying to protect what little remained of that mid lane is going to be a second lane fallen.
Yeah, and this is NoPangolier understanding their lineup and just doing what they have to do. They have to get those kills to be able to push the buildings, but you know they're able to with this kind of a dive comp, Dota 2 version. I mean, Overwatch now, boys.
Don't get me started on that. I put my meta not to just be counter heroes, but I would have said before, the good news is they can only take 2 lanes. They can't take the further as a tier 2. Yeah, because you die like that, look at this. They just go straight in and hit more towers.
Well, I mean, that's the just sort of danger of this kind of a PA Husker lineup anyway, right? It's a snowball lineup. That's just how the game's going to go. But they were able to take a fight at literally the perfect time with the Deso coming online for the PA. Oh, man.
They're just baiting them out. FNG, he's come too far at the base. Zayat's going to look for the backstab. If he sees the sniper, there it is. The lift's going to be there. Glimmer Cape to protect, but there's the Bar Strike through. They can't use the epicenter. Vacuum's going to be there. Jump in. Sniper going down. There's the Chain Frost bounce through, but BKB already activated. Naive is going to be fine. Chase forward on the Hester Joe, but he can't find him. Turn around the Piper. Needs one more tap. He'll find it on the back foot. The bounces come, but it doesn't matter. As the GG gets called, TSpirit know it's all over. Game 1, NoPangolier take victory.
You can't say enough because if you looked at their games yesterday, I mean, NoPangolier just looked disjointed. Zayat's had his Elder Titan and was just the decision making 3 through 5 was just not there as we've seen from this team in the past. But boy, oh boy, do they come back in a big way to start the day today. They take one fight and they grab the game by the throat and just never let go.
Fantastic showing, and this is. NoPangolier, their rate of improvement's been insane, right? From Odium to NoPangolier, and then to go up against a team like TSpirit that has been, like, in a lot of people's eyes, 2nd or maybe 3rd best in the CIS region at most stages throughout, like, the last year, is impressive. And like you said, NoPangolier, they suffered a little bit. TSpirit kind of got their booties kicked in a little bit when they had to go against VP, but admittedly, anyone who has to go up against VP expects that.
Oh, man. Look at the... Look at this damage total. The Naive PA is twice as much hero damage as anybody else in the game. As badly as he got pooped on in lane early on, his team gets him back into the game. They take one big fight, and he is just off to the races from there.
An insane recovery.
22 kills.
We were getting ready to write him off. In fact, you wouldn't have been wrong to write him off. That was a horrible lane start for a PA. I mean,
22 kills in less than 32-minute game. That's I will look that up, but that is going to be some kind of pro Dota 2 record. And yeah, it really is. I think this is a 1 through 5 win. This is your decision making as a team in terms of understanding where on the map do we have to pressure, both to keep ourselves in the early game and then to take advantage of that one huge fight. I mean, Spirit. They thought they had 2 support kills. They were cruising in the game. Easy Roshan guys. not having that vision up on the dire side of the map, it cost them the game.
Most definitely did. But don't worry, Alan. We got plenty ahead of us. These are best of threes.
Oh, yeah.
And this one could easily go to 3 games. These teams have proven themselves plenty of times in the past. We're going to go to a short break, and then we'll be back with Game 2 between the sides of TSpirit and NoPangolier. Stay tuned, guys.